Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you're doing well. My name is Arif Irfanullah. Some of you might already know me. I teach finance at IBA, and for those who have been in my classes, you know that in addition to finance, I also try to share some life lessons. So what I've decided to do is make these video lectures where I share life lessons with you in a more formal manner. So this is the first in a series, and I hope this will be of benefit to you. So the first lesson that I want to talk about is the fact that we need to take a step back and reflect on where we are in life. So we should reflect on our priorities. We should reflect also where our priorities are coming from. And most of my audience here is going to be IBA students, and then perhaps students at other universities who might find this interesting. Given that my audience is primarily young people, I just want to remind you that one of the biggest assets that we have in this life is time. Different people have different assets. People have benefits, or God gives different things to different people. But the one thing that everybody gets the same amount is time. So there's the same amount of time in one day for everyone. But how much time we have varies, and when you are young, you have your whole life in front of you, so obviously you have more time, which means that if you can get things right at an early stage in your life, then there is a much longer time to benefit. So for business students, you know that when you make an investment, if the investment has a longer time, then the amount that it compounds to over time is more. And the same is with life. If you get your direction right, if you understand yourself better and move in a direction that is beneficial to you, then the sooner you do it, the better. So that's why, in addition to studying technical and mechanical things at university, it's also important to reflect on where your life is headed. So now, given that this is our first lesson, we are just talking about what our priorities are, what our aspirations are. And it's important to recognize that most of our aspirations that we think are our own aspirations are actually coming from somewhere else. We are influenced by the environment we are in. So we are influenced by what our parents say. So that typically happens at a younger age. As we grow older, we are influenced by our friends, by our class fellows, by our society. We are influenced by the media. So there are all these influences on us. And even when we think that we are making our own decisions, or we are setting our own priorities, we need to recognize that there are other influences that are very strong. So that's why there is the strong emphasis on finding good company or being in the company of good people, because the company that you surround yourself with, that's going to influence you. So now, speaking of this influence, let's take a very simple matter. Let's take the matter of what is our perception of success. And I spend a fair amount of time at IBA, and if I ask about what's the perception of success for an IBA student, this is for those who are not familiar with IBA. IBA is one of Pakistan's leading business universities. So in any case, you ask a typical student at IBA about success. Success will be about getting good grades, getting a good job. For some people, getting married would also be a priority. And then after getting a good job, people want to make sure that they are well perceived, they have a status in society. Perhaps they can buy a nice car or get a nice car from their company, nice house, and then live the good life. So nice vacations, good food, and so on. And if you also look at images, generally images will project that this is success. And most people then believe that this is success. So what I want you to do is think about that is this actually success? Because what the society is defining as success is largely material things. Society is defining that the richer you get, the more material things you have, the more status you have, the more prestige you have, that is success. And then most of us are just going in that direction. So this is one aspect. If we also take other aspects in terms of how society is telling us to project ourselves, how society is asking us or suggesting that we interact with others, what social norms are acceptable, what are not acceptable. All these are also coming from society, and they are shaping our own views on what is right and what is wrong. So what I would like my students to do, or those who are thinking about about this influence, is to take a step back and really reflect. So if you think about the aspects that you believe are attributes of success, perhaps wealth, prestige, status, study the lives of people who have actually achieved this. So people who have become extremely wealthy, have they actually achieved success? Or people who have a lot of fame or status, rock stars, for example, who have become extremely famous and they have a lot of status, are they actually successful? So have they attained peace? Are they happy inside? So these are things that I want you to start thinking about. And in the next set of lectures or these conversations, I'm going to then reflect on where or how can we figure out what is success for us, and what are the direction, or what's the direction that makes sense for us. So that is it for this first segment, and I hope that you will stay tuned and stay connected. All the best. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.